Selamat pagi pemirsa setia TVR Parlemen. Hari ini kami sajikan beragam program yang informatif dan inspiratif untuk mengawali aktivitas Anda. Saya Anggun Oktarini mengucapkan selamat menyaksikan TVR Parlemen.
Lebih dari 7 dekade, kemerdekaan bukanlah tujuan akhir. Sebuah perjalanan panjang dalam mewujudkan cita-cita bangsa.
Kemerdekaan mengingatkan kita akan pentingnya memperkuat persatuan dan kesatuan bangsa.
DPR RI berkomitmen untuk terus melangkah maju, mendorong pertumbuhan ekonomi yang inklusif, memperkuat demokrasi, dan menjaga keutuhan NKRI.
Mari kita jadikan kemerdekaan sebagai pijakan untuk mewujudkan cita-cita yang luhur, menciptakan Indonesia yang adil, makmur, dan sejahtera.
Jadikan keberagaman sebagai sumber kekuatan mencapai kemajuan dan kesejahteraan bagi seluruh rakyat Indonesia.
Terus melaju untuk Indonesia maju.
Greetings, distinguished audiences, and welcome to TVR Parlemen. This is a special report of the General Assembly of 44th of AIPA, here in Jakarta, Indonesia, from August 5 to 11, 2023. I am Zulfa Bos, your today's host. It is an absolute honor to have with us today Mr. Muhammad Fahmi bin Aliman. He is the Major, Southeast District and Member of Parliament of Singapore. How are you, sir?
Thank you. I'm good. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. How do you find Jakarta, Indonesia so far?
Wow, Jakarta has changed a lot since my last visit many years back. Things have changed to a positive side, and I'm very happy to see the Transjakarta buses, the MRTs, and things are shaping up very well. And shopping is still the same. The food is fantastic. It's a totally different experience now.
Right. Glad that we have you here, sir. So the theme of AIPA, the 44th of AIPA, is the responsive parliament for a sustained and prosperous of ASEAN. What actually the specific topic that you would like to bring to the table?
Yeah, so I think personally there's a lot of topics that come through AIPA. But one specifically that I'm very interested in is actually about sustainability. And it's about how ASEAN address climate change and how the capitals of ASEAN as a country, as an entity, and all the countries come together to address those issues and then work in a way that benefiting all the countries, and same time as ASEAN addressing these concerns that we have. In ASEAN, I think in the future will be a powerful entity. The next big thing, economy, is in ASEAN, and I strongly feel that with what we are discussing now, will pave ahead some of the initiatives that important for all the cities, major cities in ASEAN and the countries to work together and show the solidarity within ASEAN. Different countries have the different challenges, obviously, right? So, but then the climate change is more important than ever. And I thought this is something that through AIPA, through ASEAN, we can be one voice together in addressing those concerns.
Right, that's so true, sir. So there are several highlights also in AIPA, and one of them is the women equality. How do you think we can promote and encourage in advancing the gender equality in parliamentary systems across ASEAN?
So we need to learn from one another. In Singapore, our women in parliament is about 30%. I think that is a good representatives of the voices on the ground. And personally, for me, when we interact with the lady parliamentarians, the thinking, the outlook, the things that they put and they come up with is totally different. And again, we have seen a lot of women being successful in their own career and able to manage families at the same time their lives and career and as a MP too. And in fact, these are all good signs. And I think personally, it's important to give the opportunity to them. And I really respect the women and those who are really in the parliament. I met one of the Indonesian parliament yesterday, young lady, I couldn't remember the name, but she has a very good outlook in the sense that able to understand and able to articulate what she wants to do. And I see, and she's young too. Yeah, similarly, in any countries, we met a woman which is young and very visionary. And I thought these are the people that we should get into the system and harness their potential, guide them. And this will create a perfect ecosystem for the country and for the world too, and especially for ASEAN.
So what are the best case practice that we can actually learn from Singapore? Because you're mentioning about the high participation rate for women in parliament.
Yeah, so for Singapore, we have GPC, where we have a group parliamentary committee that address certain issues. For example, family issues, family development, and it's all aligned to the ministry. For example, social and family, national development. So we kind of tag or rather assign some of the ladies to be part of this GVC. And they have an equal voice, obviously, in terms of initiative, in terms of good ideas and discussion, very robust discussion. And with that, the whole plans and the whole policy can be shaped with the input from the woman. All right. So, and in many other countries, it's also similar. So, personally, I think it's good to get involved. And I think the woman is, at least from Singapore, they are more eager to be involved, to be there in the forefront, to talk about it, to discuss robustly, and address the issue squarely. I think that's the beauty of it. And I've not met any of our counterparts, or rather my parliamentarians and our counterparts from different countries, where I see there's a lack of it. No, they are always on top of the situation, and I really, really appreciate and respect that. We had the speaker from Turkey. Remember that in the first plenary session, there was a Turkey parliamentarian, and she's only like 27, and she spoke very well. And these are the kind of, I think we should continue to show and provide as a role model, and hopefully more women come in and join these efforts.
And other than women in parliament, how about the youth representatives? How do you think we can encourage the youth generations to be able to actively participate to ensure that voices are also heard and well represented?
I think that's a very important question, because the youth nowadays, they see things in a different light. There's a lot of initiatives that we need to bring them on board, for them to be interested and for them to highlight or raise the concerns, the issues. One of the key things that the youth in Singapore are very keen about is about climate change, about sustainability. And with that framework or ambit, we managed to get them into the discussion. and for them to understand what the government's initiative, things that we are doing to address those concerns. The youth are very special and unique in many ways because they living in a different generation as me, so it's so totally different, but they need to be engaged, and they need to see how their voices are considered or are heard, so that they can be part of it. If they are not being heard, then they will not take part of it. So we're starting to see many youth coming on board to talk about government policies, to talk about initiatives, what's the way ahead, things that then can shape the future. In Singapore, we have few conversations. One is the Forward SG Singapore conversation, and we talk about the future of Singapore maybe in 5-10 years. Then we have Every Workers Matters conversation. Also, we get different group of people, youth included, to talk about what's the next job, the future job of Singapore. So you will see these youth coming in, and the questions they ask are all real and all good ones, and that enable us as parliamentarians to shape certain of our policy to address those questions. And once they are on board, they will be interested to do more in terms of volunteering, shaping discussions, and hopefully within that group, we'll see few coming into politics, and that's how we nurture and we move them and get them interested to join. Yeah.
So Singapore tries to involve the youths in specific global issues you're mentioning.
And a lot of conversations for them to come in and join. Yeah.
Nice to hear that, sir. So let's talk about the AIPA event itself. As Indonesia is the chair, how do you see our leadership?
Yeah, okay. So the Indonesian play a very critical role in putting ASEAN together. And I think you have very strong leadership, and I think Indonesia have a very strong passion and the willpower to ensure this. And this is what we need, I think. The importance for leadership, strong leadership, determined and passionate to ensure that ASEAN continue to work in a way that is required for us to be seen as one entity. And I'm very grateful and very happy to be part of this conversation. And I wish Indonesia a very successful, especially in your transformational journey from Ibu Kota Jakarta kepada Ibu Kota Nusantara. Yeah, I think that is something that I'm looking forward to, and that will show the might and the willpower of Indonesia in making that bold step, moving your capital from Jakarta to the Nusantara.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the special interview with Mr. Muhammad Fahmi bin Aliman, the Major Southeast District and Member of Parliament of Singapore. I'm Zilfa Boas saying goodbye. Please do stay tuned at YouTube channel TVR Parlemen to get more updates on the 44th of AIPA. Thank you so very much. Terima kasih banyak.
Counter.
Pertama dalam sejarah Indonesia, tahun 2024 kita mengadakan pemilu serentak, legislatif dan eksekutif baik di tingkat pusat maupun daerah. Catat waktunya, Rabu 14 Februari 2024. Untuk pemilihan legislatif, Anda akan memilih anggota DPD, anggota DPR, anggota DPRD Provinsi, dan anggota DPRD Kabupaten atau Kota. Selain pemilu legislatif, Anda juga akan memilih presiden dan wakil presiden loh pemirsa. Di bulan November, tepatnya Rabu 27 November 2024, juga akan diadakan pemilihan kepala daerah atau pilkada serentak. Dalam pilkada nanti, Anda akan memilih gubernur dan wakil gubernur, bupati dan wakil bupati, serta wali kota dan wakil wali kota. Nah, pemirsa sudah tahu kan waktunya? Kini saatnya Anda untuk mempersiapkan diri. Kenali calon-calon wakil rakyat dan pemimpin Anda dengan baik. Jangan sampai kesempatan untuk memilih calon wakil rakyat dan pemimpin Anda terlewat begitu saja. Ayo ramaikan pesta demokrasi pemilu 2024 dengan meriah. Demi masa depan bangsa Indonesia.
TVR Parlemen. This is a special report of the General Assembly of 44th AIPA here in Jakarta, Indonesia from August 5 to 11, 2023. I'm Silva Boas, your today's host. And this time we are very happy to have absolute honorable speakers with us, Mrs. Zadeta Mascarentas, as well as Dr. David Gillespie from Australia. They are the Member of Parliament. How are you?
I'm excellent. It's wonderful to be in Jakarta.
Yeah, very excited to be here. Looking forward to more
Trust this is not your first time coming to visit Jakarta?
My first time to Jakarta, but not my first time to Indonesia.
Okay, great.
Yeah, my first time here, but I've been to Indonesia before.
Great. How do you find Jakarta as the capital city of Indonesia so far?
It's amazing. The people are wonderful. The hotels are very beautiful, but we've also seen amazing dancing and performances as well.
Yes, the cultural displays and the music last night and the presentations at the welcome, having the President, Joko Widodo, welcomes was a great honour and amazing cultural displays.
Glad that you enjoy your stay here in Jakarta. So the topic we bring at the 44th of AIPA is responsive parliament for a sustained and prosperous of ASEAN countries. What Australia would like to observe or expect by attending this event?
I see this as an opportunity for us to witness the amazing work that ASEAN is doing. I really do see it as the epicenter of growth, but it's also an opportunity for us to collaborate to build a better and stronger region that is peaceful, prosperous and stable. And I think that that's something that all neighbours will want to do.
Seeing ASEAN at the forefront of being an economic centre of growth, of sustainable growth and maintaining peace and stability in the centre of Asia. It's at the crossroads, it's rapidly growing economically, and we expect all those good things that ASEAN has promoted to continue.
All right. So, Mrs. Sanita, you're mentioning about collaboration. So, we're talking about the mutual bilateral cooperation between Australia and Asia. What specific sectors do you think we could improve on?
Well, one of the things that I'd like to highlight is the long relationship that Australia's had with ASEAN. We were the first dialogue partner, and next year we'll celebrate our 50th anniversary. And one of the things that we did in 2021 was sign up to a comprehensive strategic partnership, which is an exciting opportunity for collaboration. And some of those things include scholarships for students to come to Australia. We also have some work that we're doing around digital skills and doing some training around that. And we also have a Futures initiative, which is looking at things like carbon neutrality, infrastructure and digital transformation. And I see this as a really exciting opportunity for Australia to collaborate, but also share skills and see the region grow.
Right. So in greater scope about the cooperation, multilateral cooperation between Australia and Asian countries, how do you see it in the near future?
Well, we have supported Indonesia as chair of this AIPA conference. They've done a great job. We're looking forward to promoting the comprehensive strategic partnership. We're looking forward to some of the things that have already happened.
Yes.
We were concerned about Myanmar and look forward to ASEAN using the 5 points of consensus to resolve that peacefully, and also express our shock and condemnation of the invasion of Ukraine. But ASEAN is a wonderful strength for Asia. It is growing rapidly. I've seen some of the gross domestic product growth in Indonesia in today's Jakarta Post. It's amazing. The economic growth here is phenomenal. And all those good things, a strong economy with the rule of law, with respecting sovereignty, inclusivity, and all those things are embodied in the ASEAN principles.
Right, right. Glad to hear the answers from you. So we're talking about also the ASEAN cooperation. How do you see us as a solid cooperation?
I see ASEAN as like the epicenter of growth, and I see it as a really important collaboration, and I see it as something that's going to continue to become bigger, more dominant, and the truth is I see so much growth in this area, and for Australia it's a really important partnership for 2 reasons. One is you're our neighbours, and I think it's fundamentally important that we are good neighbours, but also because I think that it's going to grow from strength to strength, and strategically it's very smart for Australia to have these comprehensive partnerships so we can continue to collaborate and grow.
And I'm looking forward to next March's special 50-year celebration too, as Anita mentioned, and the implementation of ASEAN's outlook for the Indo-Pacific, and also the accession of Timor-Leste into the ASEAN.
That's very
looking
exciting.
forward to that.
Right, right. And you know that Indonesia is currently taking an important role as a chair of ASEAN as well as the AIPA. How do you see Indonesia leadership?
I've been very impressed with Indonesia's leadership, and so to some extent, I'm going to say for committees that I've chaired, sometimes you can have a chair that doesn't actually step up and lead the way, and I think that Indonesia has done that and is taking ASEAN from strength to strength, but I also see it as an opportunity